Ever since Apple introduced its iPads with M-series chips, the question has been growing louder: can an iPad finally replace a MacBook? Apple has been pushing the iPad as the future of computing, adding more power, better keyboards, and even desktop-class apps. But is it actually ready to replace a laptop? Or is it just an expensive tablet with laptop accessories? Let's break it down. Ever since Apple introduced its M-series chips, the lines between iPads and Macs have been blurring. The new iPad Pro is rocking Apple's latest silicon, so does that mean it's actually better? The latest iPads now have ProMotion displays, powerful performance, and full keyboard support. If you add a Magic Keyboard, it basically looks like a MacBook. So, why even buy a MacBook? Here's where things get interesting. If you max out an iPad Pro with a Magic Keyboard and an Apple Pencil, it starts creeping into MacBook Pro territory. And that's without even considering additional accessories like an external SSD or dongles. One of the biggest things to consider is Apple's ecosystem. The iPad thrives on accessories: Apple Pencil, Magic Keyboard, and now the new Apple Pencil Pro. But they're expensive, and if you want the best experience, you're paying a premium. Apple has been pushing the iPad as a computer replacement for years. Steve Jobs famously introduced the iPad as a third category between a phone and a laptop. But in recent years, Apple has been blurring the lines, making it harder to tell where the iPad ends and the Mac begins. The iPad's biggest advantage? Touch input and the Apple Pencil. If you're into drawing, note-taking, or anything that benefits from a stylus, the iPad is unbeatable. The new Apple Pencil Pro even has squeeze gestures and haptic feedback, making it more precise than ever. An iPad Pro with a Magic Keyboard is still lighter than a MacBook Air. Plus, you can detach the keyboard and use it as a tablet, something a MacBook can never do. With the Magic Keyboard, the iPad feels like a laptop. But Apple also introduced the new Pro keyboard with a function row, something users have been asking for. The Apple Pencil Pro also brings new features like squeeze gestures, making it even more useful for creatives. The iPad Pro has a higher refresh rate, better HDR, and insane brightness, perfect for watching videos or editing photos. If you consume a lot of media, an iPad display is better than any MacBook screen, hands down. iPads have crazy battery life, and iPadOS is simpler for casual users, great if you just need a lightweight device that does the basics really well. One thing the iPad has that no MacBook does? 5G connectivity. If you travel a lot and need an always-connected device, the iPad has a clear edge. Even with Stage Manager and Final Cut Pro, iPadOS still isn't a full desktop OS. macOS gives you better multitasking, real external display support, and full Pro software. iPads rely on USB-C dongles and external storage, while MacBooks give you built-in ports, more base storage, and easier file management. If you work with large files, a MacBook is simply more convenient. iPadOS still has major file management issues. Sure, the Files app exists, but it's nowhere near macOS Finder. Drag and drop is limited, and working with external SSDs or network drives can be frustrating. iPad apps are still mobile-first. Even Pro apps like Final Cut and Logic are cut-down versions. MacBooks can run anything, no restrictions. Stage Manager is cool, but let's be real, it's not macOS window management. If you work with multiple apps at once, the MacBook is just better. Even though the Magic Keyboard is great, the MacBook's keyboard and trackpad are just better. The larger trackpad and macOS gestures make navigation smoother, and if you're typing all day, a MacBook is simply more comfortable. Buying an iPad alone isn't enough. To get the best experience, you'll need the Magic Keyboard and Apple Pencil, which significantly increases the price. Meanwhile, a MacBook is ready to go out of the box. MacBooks tend to last longer in terms of software support. iPads get updates, but the power of macOS and its ability to run legacy apps gives MacBooks a longer lifespan for professional users. iPads hold their value well, but because they rely so much on accessories, selling a used iPad setup can be trickier than selling a MacBook. With Apple continuously improving iPads and Macs, are we moving toward a future where they merge? The introduction of macOS apps on iPadOS hints that Apple might eventually unify these platforms, but for now, they still serve different purposes. If you want a lightweight, touchscreen-focused device with insane battery life, go iPad. If you need a traditional laptop that does everything without limitations, go MacBook. So, can an iPad replace a MacBook? For some people, yes. If you're an artist, a casual user, or someone who values versatility over raw power, the iPad is perfect. But if you need a full laptop experience with no compromises, the MacBook is still king. Which one would you pick? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.